Hey everybody, Pete here with PNP Real Estate. Hope you're doing well. It's been almost 2 months since Hurricane Matthew hit the Hilton Head area. So I decided to go around and check with some of the people who were responsible for cleanup and see where it stands. Today, I'm here at the Palmetto Dunes HOA office with Andrew Schumacher. So let's go inside, see what Andrew has to say. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for another PNP Short. This might not be too short since I'm here with Andrew Schumacher, the president of the Palmetto Dunes Homeowners Association. Andrew, as always, thanks for joining us.
See you, Pete.
Some of you might remember Andrew was the rock star that we did the Q&A with. That got quite a bit of attention on one of our prior newsletters. But since we're 2 months post-hurricane, I thought it'd be beneficial for us and for everybody watching to just come and talk to Andrew about the hurricane, the cleanup, and everything that's happened since. So Andrew, if you could kind of give us and everybody at home an idea of the damage that kind of occurred, the types of damage and things like that.
Sure. We've always kind of planned for this event, but you just never know what's going to happen. There was a lot of damage in the community. I came back on the island Saturday afternoon, and as I came across the bridge, I kind of had a tear in my eyes, the amount of trees that were down. Most of the damage in Palmetto Dunes was mostly tree damage. There was some property damage. Unfortunately, some homes did get significantly damaged where some owners had to temporarily remove out of their house. Fortunately, we did not have a lot of flooding in the community, and we were back open for business a couple of days after the storm was passed through.
So as far as the process that's involved in a cleanup after a category strong 1 or 2 hurricane like we had, can you kind of take us through that process, what it entails, the hard work that you and your staff have been doing behind the scenes?
Obviously, the primary mission is to get the roads clear of debris for emergency access, response for personnel, fire and rescue. That was kind of the first response that was done in the community Saturday afternoon with the help of 3 of our security personnel, as well as fire and rescue and the utilities. I believe Tuesday, Crowder Golf, the national contractor that was hired by the town, did come into the community and pushed all the debris from edge of pavement to edge of pavement. And then after probably a week-long process, we finally got FEMA approval where the town could clear the debris from the private roads in the community. It was a lengthy process, but ultimately we succeeded.
So that was a big question going in, because we have not had a major storm like that in quite some time. So there was a lot of misinformation about, well, private communities will not get FEMA assistance. So they actually did come through and give assistance.
They did. The town put some ordinances and resolutions in place many years ago in the event of a hurricane or natural disaster. FEMA would not give any pre-approval, so after the storm, Mayor Bennett and Steve Riley authorized the ordinance, and then the town and the gated communities had to go through some various steps to submit paperwork to the town via the state and FEMA to eventually get approval to remove the debris from the private roads. Obviously, that was a huge benefit to all of us because the cost would have been in excess of $1 million for the POA to remove the debris themselves.
So as far as the cleanup itself, is that homeowner responsibility? I know FEMA's helping out, but the homeowners, the HOA, the town, the county, federal, state, national, who kind of, I know you bring everything together and coordinate, but does the town or the county or the state assist with that, or is it just more or less the HOA takes care of it?
Actually, the debris removal is under the town's contract with Crowder Golf. The town receives support from FEMA for Crowder Golf to go onto private property. So the town has negotiated a contract with Crowder Golf, and the cleanup effort is under the town's jurisdiction right now.
Okay, and then you coordinate with them?
Yeah, we are working closely on this. One thing as far as this entire process is the town has been great working with all the gated communities. We were meeting the 10 planned unit development general managers with town staff every other day for the first couple of weeks, and now we're meeting once a week. But they've done a phenomenal job of communicating to the communities, the large gated communities, in this recovery effort and cleanup effort.
So they've really put in overtime as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The town has done a phenomenal job.
There's a lot of work behind the scenes that people at home don't realize that goes into something like this. In addition to the day-to-day operations that you guys have to do, the town has to do it.
Sure. I mean, we have limited resources. We didn't have a bunch of additional personnel to kind of on standby to help with a recovery effort.
So people who live here, maybe they haven't lived here very long, or people who come here and they visit and their families enjoy the amenities. The lagoon system is viewed as an amenity, but it was really built as a buffer system. Is that right?
Yeah, the lagoon system is part of our storm drainage system in our community. It was developed in the late 60s and as a drainage ditch. But over the years, it's become a navigable waterway under the Army Corps of Engineers, and it is an amenity in this community that's used by outfitters and most of the residents and guests of the community. But certainly the lagoon system did its job. Our team, our staff lowered the lagoon system as low as we could pre the storm. And fortunately, we did not have a significant amount of flooding in this community, I think primarily to the lagoon system.
So it kind of goes to the mantra of what Palmetto Dunes always have. It's always been looking forward and ahead, planning, making sure things are taken care of.
Yes, sir.
And that was done a long time ago. As far as the cleanup and the financial position, was there anything that Palmetto Dunes and everybody involved did either a year or two or 5 or 10 years ago to kind of help prepare for a natural disaster like this?
Yeah, absolutely, Pete. The board and management had the foresight back in 2004 to create a storm reserve fund and amend the covenants for the creation of this storm reserve fund. And it served two purposes. The first purpose was to assess the membership up to $200 a year over a number of years to build up a storm reserve fund of up to $2 million. And we started that back in 2005, and I think the assessment was $150 the first couple of years. And we capped that at $2 million probably in 2011, 2012. And then certainly it's appreciated over the years. I think pre-storm it was about $2.4 million. So we had cash on hand to recover from a storm. The second component of that amendment to the covenants allowed us the ability to special assess after a natural disaster up to $1,000 per owner per year to recover from a disaster. And this gave us the ability to get a $5 million line of credit with our banking partner. So with the $2 million on hand and $5 million at the bank, we felt pretty comfortable to recover from roughly a Cat 3 storm of about $7 million of expenses in our community.
So very, very good foresight.
Yeah, a lot of great foresight, financial planning. We put some other things in place, but to have the financial resources to cover it gave me a good comfort level pre-Hurricane Matthew.
Because a lot of the rumors around town, a lot of the other developments don't have that in place where they're going to have to assess. Is that true?
That is true. I mean, we are going to assess in 2017, but it's not really, it's a storm assessment, but it's merely to replenish the funds that we're going to use from Hurricane Matthew and Tropical Storm Hermine.
So the cleanup itself and getting things back to so-called normal, Palmetto Dunes is well ahead of schedule. Would you say so? I
think we came out of the gates like gangbusters. We had resources on the ground Sunday after the storm. It's come to a little bit of a slow crawl as we're kind of 2 months away from the storm now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of us hope that maybe it'd be cleaned up by the end of the year, but it's going to be well into the new year, probably into March, April before all the debris is removed from the community.
So roughly 6 months.
Roughly about a 5 to 6 month cleanup effort.
Yeah, but not early, and it's still great because it goes to the work and the efficiency that you guys operate under. Is that a lot of projections were 12 months, even 18 months, and you're cutting that time down to 6.
Yeah, I mean, there'll still be some infrastructure repairs that we're not aware of that'll pop up maybe on the next tropical storm or windstorm. So we'll have reserves set aside for that. But yeah, our goal is to have the community looking great by the time of springtime.
I'm sure you will. All right, we hope that gives you enough information, at least for now. We'd like to thank Andrew for joining us, as always. And if you have any questions, let us know. Until next time.